Students, let's begin today's lesson with paper 1. So as you know, there are two parts to paper 1, your situational writing and your continuous writing. So let's try to target to keep your situational writing under 15 to 20 minutes so that you can have more time to do the continuous writing. So how can we actually complete our situational writing that quickly? We can definitely do it with proper planning. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. But before we jump straight to reading the stimulus as many of you usually do, let's take a look at the task section first. Okay, and let's recap the PACW that we need to be looking out for. So remember, we have the P, A, C and W. P stands for purpose, why you are actually writing this particular letter or this email. Okay, and the clue is usually in the words to inform, to recommend, to persuade. A stands for audience. So you need to know who you are writing to, right? Is it a friend or is it a stranger or is it someone of authority? So this is very important because it will actually lead you to your context. So context is like the kind of tone you should be using when you are writing. Okay, it could be an informal tone or a formal tone. So an informal tone is more for your friend, like you can say hi Jessie or hello Ben, whereas a formal tone would be more appropriate for someone you are not very close to or someone who is an authority figure, for example the school principal or the board member of a certain organization. Okay, and finally we have W, which is writer. So writer again is who, but this time it's who am I. So who are you in this particular writing? Are you writing as yourself? Are you assuming a character? So this will help you determine how you are going to sign off the letter or the email. Okay, so let's look at the task with these points in mind so that we can identify our P, A, C and W. So first up, imagine you are Tina. So immediately you know who is the writer. You will not be writing as yourself. You will be Tina. And what you need to do is write an email to the discipline master of your school, Mrs. Pang, to inform her about the incident. Okay, what incident we are not sure yet, but immediately we can see that the audience is the discipline master of your school, and more specifically her name is Mrs. Pang. So you will be addressing her as dear Mrs. Pang. Okay, and your purpose is to inform her about the incident. Okay, so as I said earlier on, we will address her as dear Mrs. Pang. So that's actually the context, and it will be a formal context. Okay, so we are going to inform her about the incident. So let's look down further. In your email, include the following key information. You'll need to include the date of the incident, where the incident took place, what Mabel reminded Vincent to do, and why she did that. How did Vincent respond, and what you saw Vincent doing. Okay, so immediately we can also see the number of points that we must include in our content paragraphs to achieve our full 6 marks for content. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So let's look out for these 6 points when we are looking at the stimulus. Okay, and lastly, just to recap, you may reorder the points, and you need to remember to write in complete sentences. Alright, so let's head back to the stimulus. So the pictures below show an incident that happened after school. Study the pictures carefully. So on 22nd May 2020 at 1:55 p.m. at the basketball court, something is happening. So immediately we can see the date of the incident, right? And where the incident took place. So this one already answers our point number 1 and point number 2. Okay, so what's happening here? This girl is saying, "Are you leaving, Vincent? You forgot about that plastic bottle. Remember to take it with you and throw it into the recycling bin." And Vincent says, "Yes, I'm leaving, Mabel, and no, I won't take it with me." So immediately we already know has got something to do with point number 3 and 4, right? So this is Mabel, and Mabel is asking Vincent to take his bottle and throw it in the recycling bin. And why do you think she is doing that? So it may not be explicitly written here, but maybe you can find a clue in the background. So you can see there are some recycling bins in the background. So we can guess that she's probably asking him to keep his litter at the recycling bins, in the recycling bins, because it's probably a school rule or something that they are encouraged to do in school. And what did Vincent say? Vincent says, "No, I will not take it with me." So this is his response, right? Okay, and this kind of gives you a clue already as to what he's doing. He's actually refusing, right? Okay, let's see what happens next. Just 1 minute later, Mabel says, "But I'm sure you drank from it." And he says, "I didn't." So over here, he's even further denying what's happening. He just refuses to throw the bottle away. And again, 1 minute later, another girl comes along and says, "All right, there's no need to argue with him. I saw him drink from it as well. He's littering. So I think we should inform the discipline master about this incident." Okay, and Mabel says, "I agree, Tina." Okay, so this is Tina. And remember, you are going to be Tina in this particular email. So you need to include your point number 6 because you saw Vincent drinking from the bottle. Okay? And because you saw him drinking from the bottle, what he essentially was doing was littering. So there you have your 6 points. Okay, let's head to the section below to structure our points. Now that we have all our points, let's take a look at how we can plan for our writing. Okay, so of course you are going to start with "Dear Mrs. Pang." Okay, one thing that's interesting about this particular situational writing is you have to think if Mrs. Pang knows you or not. Okay, so because she's the discipline master of your school and there are so many students in the school, Mrs. Pang may not necessarily know you personally. So it will be good to include an introduction. Okay, so you can say something simple like, "I am Tina from class 1A," and you can jump straight to write your purpose. So, and I am writing to inform you about whatever that we discussed just now. Okay, then remember to insert your 6 content points that we have already identified in the stimulus. And you can end with another purpose. You end your purpose and you can say something like, "Thank you for your attention. I look forward to your reply." And then you remember to sign off with your name. So do remember that you're not signing off with your own name. You are signing off as Tina. Okay, and usually we would use "yours faithfully." You can use that for someone that you don't know that well. Okay, so "yours faithfully, Tina." So with all these points in mind, it should be easy for you to complete your situational writing rather quickly, okay, and not miss out on the 6 points. So you should be getting full marks for content. As for the 9 marks for language, do take note of your spelling, your punctuation, and your grammar. You can use connectors like "moreover," "additionally," or "however" to make your sentences sound more authentic as compared to merely listing the points. So now let's head on to discuss how we can plan for part 2. Okay, so part 2 is your continuous writing, and in question 2 you're supposed to write a composition of at least 150 words about a wrong decision. Okay, so take note, it's a wrong decision. And